What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at a new case from BitFenix. It is their Pandora ATX, and this is a follow-up to the original Pandora that was launched back in 2014, which was a micro ATX case, and now we have the larger ATX version. Taking a first look at the case here, you can see we have a pretty cool design, a really sleek and elegant looking design here. And one thing that's really cool is that the actual side panels of the case are curved. So this curved design right here is actually part of the side panel, and it gives it a really cool look. So if we move around to the front here, you can see we have that all plain front that looks really nice. No drive bays at all. This case does not have any 3.5 inch or 5.25 inch drive bays whatsoever. And we have this all plain front here, and you can see how the panels curve into the front, giving that really cool design. Now, one thing that's cool about this case is it has the BitFenix icon display. And what that is, it's a little display right here that you can put a logo or maybe your team logo or something like that in right here. We'll be going over that in our full review. At the top front of the case is where you're going to find all of your connections and buttons and all of that stuff. So first, we have a very large power button right here. We have two USB 3.0 ports, your headphone and microphone connections, two USB 2.0 ports, and then a large reset button. The rest of the top of the case is a very large ventilated section, as you can see here. And what's cool is this part of the case is actually completely removable. So all you have to do is press down on it, and you can see it kind of unlocks, and we can actually take it out. And as we take it out, you can see that it is actually a filter here. So again, you can take this out, you can clean it, and you can easily put it right back on. Now, one thing that is cool about the top of the case is, of course, we have all of this cooling room. So we have room for 3 120 millimeter fans or 2 140 millimeter fans. Another thing that's cool is that we have room for radiators up to 360 millimeters. So again, you can fit a 360 in the front and a 360 in the top. Now, the top part here actually allows you to install the fans above where your motherboard is going to be, which is actually kind of nice. So there's actually quite a lot of room up here. So if you did want to do a very thick radiator, you could, or if you want to do like a push-pull or something like that, there's more than enough room in the top of the case. Taking a look at the side of the case here, you can see we have a large side panel window, and this window is going to allow you to show off all of the hardware inside your system. One other thing about the side panels here is that we do have thumb screws on each side panel, and they're the thumb screws that actually stay on the panel, so you don't have to worry about losing them. Looking at the back part of the case here, we have two water cooling holes right here that will allow you to add extra water cooling if you happen to expand on your current system. We have a 120 millimeter exhaust fan here on the back. Of course, we have all of our expansion slots, a little exhaust right here, and our power supply is going to be mounted on the bottom of the case. On the bottom of the case, you're going to find 4 feet here, and these feet are going to keep your case off the ground and allow for airflow under it. Talking about airflow, we have 2 fan filters here. We have one that's of course going to sit below your power supply, and this is easily removable. You can see I can slide it out, clean it, and put it right back in. Now, there's also a fan filter that runs along the entire front part of the case, but it is taken out from the bottom, so we can just easily slide it out. You can see how big it is. Again, you can clean this off, easily put it right back in, no problem whatsoever, and you're good to go. Now, the side panels on this case are a little bit different than most because they are curved, so they have to kind of be taken off and put back on in a little bit different manner than you're typically used to. So the first thing you're actually going to want to do is pull the panel off from the front. So what we do is we kind of just pull it, and now it's unlocked basically. So our panel is kind of unlocked there, and then we carefully remove the screws, and we can get it. There we go. And our panel comes off nice and easily. And again, you can see the curved part here at the front, that we have that curved part of the panel. Once inside, you can see that we have a dual chamber design. So we have our bottom section here that has the cover over it. This has become extremely popular on a lot of cases, having the power supply cover. And then we have our main part of the case, which is extremely open because we don't have any 3.5 inch or 5.25 inch drive bays anywhere. We have a very large CPU cutout right here, and of course we have cable routing holes all around here that allow you to easily route all your cables, and they do have the rubber inserts so you don't have to worry about, say, ripping or tearing your cables. Starting here at the front part of the inside, we can see our cooling fan, and this is a 140 millimeter cooling fan that is included with the case. Now you can add a second 140, or you can do 3 120s. As far as water cooling support here, you have room for up to a 360 millimeter radiator. And again, that is made possible because you don't have any optical drives or anything like that. One thing to point out about the water cooling is the shroud here, the PSU shroud, is actually cut open at the front here. So you can have those really thick radiators, or you can do a push-pull setup with fans on each side, and you don't have to worry about this getting in the way. Also talking about water cooling, you can see this little part right here, and this is actually a pump mount bracket. So if you're thinking about doing your own water cooling setup, your own custom loop, this is actually a pump bracket, so you can easily install a pump right here. We have two 2.5-inch hard drive mounts here, and these are easily removable with a thumb screw. You can take them out, install your drive, and easily put them right back in. Moving over to the back part of the case, we have another bracket, and this is actually a 3.5-inch hard drive bracket for, of course, your more traditional hard drives. Now, this bracket can actually be taken out and you can install your hard drive, but on top of that, you don't have to use this placement right here. If you don't want it here, you don't want your hard drive looking weird or something like that with the side panel window, you can actually take this, you can move it over here, you can move it to the back side of the case. There's a bunch of different mounting places for this bracket, so you're not set on this one. Another thing to point out, we do have another routing hole here with the rubber insert. So if you're, want to route your cables for your graphics card kind of up like this, you can easily go ahead and do that. Of course, we have all of our expansion slots, which of course use thumb screws, so you can easily change out your hardware. And we have our 120 millimeter exhaust fan. At the top part of the inside of the case, we have a very unique feature. We have a reservoir bracket, and what this allows you to do is easily add a water cooling reservoir if you're doing your own custom loop. And what's cool about this is that you can remove it and you can move it to the front of the case if you want. So it just gives you that versatility of easily being able to install water cooling parts. Now again, if you don't want to use it, you can completely remove it and you can install fans up here. You can do 3 120s or 2 140s, or also water cooling radiators up to 360 millimeters. Taking the backside panel off of the case, we can get a better idea of how all of our cables are going to be run and everything like that. And of course, the first thing that stands out is our cable ties, and these nice Velcro cable ties are included with the case, and they're going to allow you to easily route all of your larger cables and everything like that. Talking about cable routing, there's actually 2 more cable routing holes right here, and they're going to allow you to easily route those EPS connectors for your CPU. There's also quite a lot of tie down points for zip ties, or you can even repurpose these Velcro ties all around here, so tying everything down to the back of the case shouldn't be an issue. Also talking about that, we have about 1 inch of space between the back of the motherboard tray and the back part of the case, so you shouldn't have any trouble getting the backside panel back on once you have all of your cables routed. There's also 2 more 2.5-inch drive bays, or drive trays actually, and again, these are the same ones that we saw on the front. They easily come out with a thumb screw, allow you to install your drive and put them back on. And what's great about having them back here is that if you're only using a couple hard drives, you have all of that cable mess and just your drives out of the way. You have them back here nice and hidden. On the bottom part of the case, again, that's hidden from the front of the case by that big power supply shroud, is we do have, if we move our cables out of the way, we do have our power supply mount right here, and then we have 2 more 3.5-inch drive mounts, which again are removable, so you can easily take out the tray, install your drive, and put them right back in. So this wraps it up for our overview of the BitFenix Pandora ATX case. Now, if you have any questions about this case, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Until next time, catch you guys later.